A lessons learned meeting is a great way for a team to look back and reflect on what went well and what didn't during a project. As a leader of my company, I often host these meetings to learn from both our successes and our missteps. My goal is always the same: to adjust and create the best environment for my team to thrive in future projects. Tonight, I want to share the outcome of one of these reflections on a very technical project that my team completed over the summer. My team consisted of myself and two of my direct reports, and we'll throw my boss in there for good measure. Let me start by describing the project at a high level. I work in auto insurance, and a big part of that is how we factor in the type of vehicle you drive while setting your policy premiums. As you can imagine, insuring a Ford F-150 and a Toyota Corolla should not cost the same, all else equal. In this project, our goal was to replicate the algorithm a competitor uses to price different vehicle types. Their approach is publicly filed, so it is completely fair game, but there were some pieces in that public filing or in their methodology that were missing, and we had to reverse engineer them on our end. This subject matter pricing for different vehicle types was brand new territory for my team and me. None of us had ever worked in this specific area before. And we asked my boss and experts in our tech organization for support upfront on some of the basics of the subject matter expertise and the structure of the deliverables we needed to provide. It was a good and maybe humbling lesson for me. No matter how much I know, no matter how much experience I have, there will always be something new to learn, and always learn from those around you. To make things even more interesting, we had a tight 4-week deadline. A former leader I worked with once said his biggest strength was that he gets stuff done. As a leader myself, I found that balance tricky. Sometimes being a little bit too hands-on and frustrating my team, sometimes being a little bit too hands-off, which slows down our progress. But this project was one of the first times I felt like I found that middle ground. My approach in leading this project was to start by laying out the goal and the problem statement of the project, then building out a structure, skeleton of the project. And instead of spelling out how to do each step, I framed each piece of the puzzle as a small problem for the team to solve. And they were responsible for figuring out the how. Because of the fast pace and high priority of the project, the three of us met almost daily. My role became more of a problem-solving partner, just jumping in when the team needed me and just letting the team drive in terms of how to implement the solutions we came up with. And on my end, I focused more on project management and keeping my boss in the loop on updates. One example of jumping in was I helped one of my teammates figure out how to reverse engineer a missing piece of the algorithm, and also how to verify that our workaround was accurate. As the team lead, I also pivoted workloads as we went. Some efforts took longer than expected, others wrapped up faster. And with just three of us, we were able to move quickly and adapt to whatever challenges came our way. Our biggest challenge was the deadline. We had 4 weeks, start to finish. And the consequence of being late was having to tell our CEO that we were delaying the launch of a company-wide initiative. That would not be a good look. When planning for a specific deadline in mind, the usual advice I've gotten is to start at the deadline and work our way backward. We tried that at first, but we quickly fell a week behind. So we changed course. We had a pause, sat down with the three of us, and held a planning meeting to map out each step as if there weren't a deadline. And that allowed everyone to think big picture and more clearly about what their work truly required. And without really any pressure from me or any thinking explicitly about timeline pressure. The timeline the three of us came up with ended up working out. It ended up being for a full 3 weeks for the remaining time we had, and included some buffer time. The result was that we were able to hit the milestones that we set for ourselves. And sure, some of the steps took longer than we planned, and some steps were a little bit quicker, and we ended up using all of the buffer time we had set. But in the end, we delivered a high quality work product right on schedule. Our success on this project came from many things going right. We learned what it takes to work in a completely new area of the business. We learned how to collaborate effectively under pressure, and we learned how to manage timelines and expectations in a way that was fair to the team and valuable to the company. In my future work, I'll always carry the spirit of collaboration and problem solving that that my team showed in this process. The same spirit that made it such a success working on this project together. Thank you.